Drug rainbow fentanyl confirmed to be on the streets of Monroe County.
We never thought we'd have something that looked like candy coming in and being fentanyl.
Police say the brightly colored pills are being used by traffickers to target kids and young adults and get them hooked. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says it first saw rainbow fentanyl, or M30, last year, and now it is back. Chase Howell joining us now with a new warning to parents tonight, particularly with Halloween right around the corner.
Yeah, Don, the biggest concern is rainbow fentanyl looks like these sweet tarts in my hand, but it could kill your child. These small, bright pills can pack a deadly punch. Rainbow fentanyl, a drug the DEA says is used to target kids and young adults, is said to be 50 times stronger than heroin.
Even think about giving it to teenagers on the street is it's so ungodly.
Dean Lucas's son Lee died from a heroin fentanyl overdose in 2016 when he was only 27. Now a grandfather, Lucas fears for his teenage granddaughter and other children.
There is no way that you can take fentanyl on your own. The dosage, you don't know how much is in each pill that they would take or each piece of candy that they would take. One would do away with that 13-year-old.
Deputy Michael Favata is part of the sheriff's heroin task force. He says they first discovered rainbow fentanyl last year.
It's come across here, sporadically throughout, some investigations. We don't have any of it linked to any fatal overdoses or an overdose in general.
Favata says fentanyl is the leading cause of overdoses in Monroe County, mostly occurring in people in their 30s. But rainbow fentanyl could change that.
Drug dealers are businessmen. They want to expand in their business, create younger people addicted. But again, we can't confirm any of that. It's the only thing we can think of.
As Halloween approaches, Favata and Lucas want to give a bit of advice to parents.
Check your candy. I remember growing up, it was the razor blades and apples, we had to look for needles. That was the big thing. So parents were ripping everything open before you check. That's where we're at.
Show them the pictures of what it looks like, and to be with your child. Basically, that would be the end. And there's no way that anybody should ever bury their child like I had to.
And I'm told the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, so far this month, we've had 6 non-fatal overdoses, and we're only 5 days into October. This year, there have been 459 overdoses, which has already surpassed last year's number of non-fatal overdoses.
Family of a 3-year-old Rochester boy caught in the crossfire of a shootout on North Clinton Avenue last week says he is improving every day. 13 WHAM's Dalton Williams here now with new information about the encouraging news on the boy's condition and the support this family has been receiving. Dalton?
Yes, 3-year-old Marlo Joseph was sitting in his car seat when he was critically injured by gunfire 1 week ago. Today, the family tells me Marlo is off the ventilator and breathing on his own. A family going through an unimaginable situation, watching one of their loved ones fight to survive.
You don't think in a million years, you don't think someone's going to call and say that a 3-year-old in your family has suffered a gunshot wound. It doesn't even make sense.
Marlo's cousin Brittany Rum says he's made impressive strides in just a week's time, waking up and breathing on his own again.
We have no timeline right now or no updates on when he'll be able to come home, but we're just grateful that he has made such amazing progress, especially for a 3-year-old who has suffered a gunshot wound, right, in a week.
Marlo's incident has caused many to express their frustration with the city's continual rise in violent crime.
What I'm really scared about is last year we had 60 children under 18 shot last year, 8 fatally. My concern is for the next 20. If nothing changes, then we're going to have another 20 kids under 18 shot, and we're going to lose 2 of them.
Community leaders say they hear the frustrations and are hoping to offer some solutions.
We're calling it Stop the Violence Community Church Fairs. Every quadrant of the city and every neighborhood within that quadrant, we are going to saturate it with community resources.
Rum says she and her family are grateful for the support, but she hopes that some real change can come from this tragic event.
This has to be our breaking point. And not breaking point for just individuals or our neighborhoods, but for our politicians, this community needs some healing and some real change.
2 people have been arrested in connection to Marlowe's shooting. Police say they are still looking for other possible suspects. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or Crime Stoppers at 423-9300.
We are following breaking news at this hour. You are looking at a live picture of a rather large police presence on Brown Street in Rochester. We have reached out to police on the scene. We are waiting to hear back. As soon as we get that new information, we will bring it to you. Shootings, arsons, 3 homicides, all linked to a feud over the sale of illegal marijuana in Rochester.
We have so much unregulated marijuana, and people are making a lot of money off it. And so, I mean, human nature, it leads to violence, it leads to feuds.
New York legalized marijuana last year, but Rochester police say illegal sales are a significant problem. Good evening, I'm Jenny Ryan. Doug has the night off. Police say a turf war between rival gangs over marijuana led to a summer of violence, including the murder of Officer Tony Mazurkowitz. As 13 WHAM's Carla Rogner reports for us tonight, police say legalizing marijuana has not helped them.
Yeah, Jenny, there have been 65 homicides this year in Rochester, and police say a significant amount of those murders are related to the illegal sale of marijuana. RPD does not count exactly how much of this marijuana they seize, but so far this year, there have been 369 incidents in which police seized illegal marijuana. These are photos of the dozens of pounds of marijuana seized by the Rochester Police Department after search warrants were executed at several city homes this summer. It was part of a large-scale investigation that tied gang members, some from out of state, to a string of violent crimes.
Everybody says marijuana is a, non-violent crime, right? Well, let's tell that to all the people that got shot during this investigation all over marijuana.
RPD Chief David Smith worries the legalization of the drug has not helped stop the violence.
This is no different than, imagine people making their own alcohol and making a huge profit on it because they were able to undercut liquor stores and bars. And then because of the illegal activity, you get into gang feuds and competition.
Recreational marijuana became legal in New York State last year, but there are still no legal dispensaries to purchase it from, a concern police share with Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter.
The illegal sale of marijuana has been entrenched in our community for years, right? And now with the legalization of it and the formality of it, which again, if that's what the legislators want to do, that's their job. But they got to remember they made that market even more entrenched by not opening up the stores at the same time.
Democratic Senator Jeremy Cooney supported legalizing marijuana. He sent a statement that says, in part, "In states that have legalized before us, we have seen reduced marijuana-related arrests, including the reductions in the prevalence of illicit markets. It is our hope that the legalized market in New York will lead to similar reductions in crime and violence." He also says the state should speed up the process to establish legal sales. His Republican opponent in November's election, former Gates Police Chief Jim Van Bretterode, says a plan for legal distribution should have been established before marijuana was legalized.
It's just backwards, and now the community is paying the price. Families are paying the price for this. The people that have been shot, the people that have been killed, it's a terrible, terrible mistake, whether it was intentional or not.
And a representative for Rock Normal, that's an advocacy group supporting the legalization of marijuana, says the hope is even though legal dispensaries might not eliminate the black market, it might incentivize people to buy marijuana from a legal retailer. The state is on track to open retail dispensaries later this year.